Lovely to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back at ITB Convention at the Orange Stage. It's great to see a full house again. Isn't it amazing? It's great that you're joining us virtually from whichever time zone or from whatever continent you're joining us. Thank you so much for being with us here when the world comes to Berlin. Okay, I just mentioned it already. We are talking now about social media. We talked a lot about artificial intelligence. Now we are heading into the question how TikTok works for travel brands. Give me a hands up. Who's using TikTok in that room? Oh, wow. Who's not using TikTok? Who doesn't know what I'm talking about? No one. Wonderful. So I hand over to Leah because she has a special guest.
Yes, and I say as well, welcome back and thank you for being here. The room is totally packed, and I know why, because we have TikTok on the stage. And not only have we TikTok on the stage, they're also the sponsor of this session, which is exciting. And it is the session right before the break, so how could there be any better session to close the first part of the day? We saw it. Many of you use TikTok. At least everyone knows what TikTok is, so we know what we're talking about. TikTok is becoming a new frontier for both travel discovery and planning. So it's very interesting for us to understand in the travel industry, how can we actually leverage TikTok? How can we as a brand engage with TikTok? And TikTok takes me there, a journey through the new frontier of travel search and discovery. Get ready for some insights into the vibrant TikTok travel community, some trends and use cases and insights. And it's my honor to welcome on stage the Vice President, Global Business Solutions for Europe at TikTok, Stuart Flint. Please join me on stage.
Pause.
Pause.
Hello.
Welcome.
Nice to see you.
Thank you so
Hello.
much for joining.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes, before I hand the stage over to you. Oh, I have to wait for the music.
Wait for the music.
Wait for the music. Thank you so much for being here. Stuart Flint from TikTok. And before I leave the stage, allow me one question.
Yeah, of course.
So you saw there's many users on TikTok. Maybe there's some we can convert from non-users to users.
I hope so.
So let's give them a kickstart. What's your personal favorite account to follow?
Well, I'm a sneakerhead. I'm into trainers. I like these, by the way. They're very nice.
They're comfy.
So yeah, mine is all about, my community that I follow a lot is around sneakers. So that's my passion point. But I'll share something else maybe towards the end as well.
Right, cool.
Based on travel.
Yeah, that's good. Enjoy the stage. It's yours, and I'm looking forward to your keynote. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to take you back to last summer, 2023. It was an incredibly important moment in my family's life cycle. We were saying goodbye to my daughter. She was heading to university, a big adventure for her. She was going to the University of Berkeley of Music, School of Music, based in Boston, Massachusetts. And it was a really exciting time for her. It was an exciting time because she was finding her feet in a brand new city. And it was exciting for the rest of the family because we dropped her off, we moved her into her dormitory, and we were also finding more out about the city that she was going to spend the next 4 years in. Now, normally, my path would be to go onto social, I'd go on the web and I would do some searches about restaurants that I can frequent, some places that I could visit, great hotels, and so on. But my path of discovery took a very different turn. I turned to TikTok first. It was a place where I was inspired. It was a place where I was educated. And it was a place where I took action. My name is Stuart Flint. As you heard, I have the privilege of looking after the Global Business Solutions team across Europe. Now, I'm not the only one doing this. In fact, well over 3/4 of our audience come to TikTok to be inspired by their next adventure, their next travel ambition, or to buy a travel-related product. In my instance, it helped me find restaurants that I could go to. It actually helped me with the airline that I would pick to fly to Boston, and also the luggage that I really wanted to carry and look cool. Oh, and also there was the baggy pants for the flight, but that's another question. By this time, by the way, I was in absolute tears saying goodbye to my daughter. I want to make that really clear. And I was the worst out of everybody in the family.
Here are 4 beautiful Boston restaurants. First up, we have Terra in the Back Bay. This Italian restaurant has a beautiful interior setting. After that, we have Contessa, located in the Back Bay off of Newbury Street, another beautiful interior. Then we have Citrus and Salt. This Mexican restaurant boasts a really nice interior as well, followed up by Aquitaine in the...
I think you get the idea. It's also not just about inspiration. It's where serendipity takes action. And 71%, so well over 2/3 of our audience, come to TikTok not only in search for inspiration, but with intent. They use TikTok for their next holiday destination. It's where they start their travel ambition. They turn to their For You feed, which is feeding them algorithmically, that's a word, content that we know that they like, and they're utilizing the discovery bar, the search bar, for us to understand what their intent is and where they're likely to travel in their future. Now, we've established that TikTok is a mainstay now for travel destinations, travel inspiration, travel education, and travel impact. But it goes much, much deeper than that. When I investigate in TikTok, it's not just about showing me a video of the best restaurants to go to. It goes deeper. The community allow me to see other videos about that's not just the best restaurant to attend, but this is the best table to sit at in that restaurant. This is the signature dish that you need to try. And this is a brilliant accompanying wine for you to try while you're at this restaurant. All different videos, but it allows me to have a much richer and deeper experience with the communities that are sharing and I'm participating in and being part of. I can't think of a better example in a video here where, if you like, the serendipitous journey that we take through our For You feed makes people take action. I'd like to show you a video quickly. She turned her dream into real-world action. I love that. Just for a pastry. Look, it's happening right here. It's on our very doorstep. In fact, nearly 2/3 of users in DACH and Germany say that they're likely to book a holiday based on a recommendation that is made that they've seen on TikTok. That's utilizing the peer-to-peer relationship that they have with the people and the followers and the users that they trust, the creators that they trust, to take action and actually book a holiday. Now, a couple of things to note before I talk you through my top 5 trends on the platform right now. The first thing to note is it's really important for both creators and brands to be incredibly authentic on the platform. Be real, be yourself, be humorous. Tell us what the journeys are actually like. Show us the highs and show us the lows. What you will absolutely get from all creators on our platform is the absolute truth. And so embrace that. It's okay that the water isn't as turquoise as you might like. It doesn't have to be veneered. It doesn't have to look 100% beautiful. But people want to see the truth, and they want that truth represented through the creators that we're seeing.
Hold me in your arms, baby. Yo, both hands on the back when I tap it, grab it and slap it, Becky a savage.
The next thing is, it's not just about travel tips. It's also about education, and I talked about that right at the start. It helps inform. And one of my personal favorites here is that airlines and pilots, who are also becoming their own creators on the platform, are informing people and reassuring them about the challenges that people face when it comes to flying. If you're a scared flyer, tap into this community because it's brilliant. And so what they do is they give you an understanding of what those noises are as the plane is pushing back from the terminal, when it's decoupling and the noises that it makes. It also talks you through what turbulence actually is. And actually, a plane cannot fall out from the sky through turbulence, trust me. So if you're a frequent flyer but it makes you nervous, please tap into this community because they're absolutely brilliant. So inspiration, be authentic, but equally educate. Really, really important before I take you through
Turbulence is
My top
mainly
5
caused
trends.
by clouds and wind change. When the wind changes rapidly, as we go fast with the airplane, we can encounter this massive change on wind that causes turbulence.
I think you get the idea. That was actually an EasyJet clip, so EasyJet are very much embracing that. And they also give some fabulous tips about how to hold your mobile phone on the back of a seat using the sick bag. It's really good. Let me talk you through my top 5 trends that are happening on the platform right now. The first, and this is wonderful, this is creators providing an alternative to the high-end cost, beautiful destinations that you can go on around the world. We're calling these travel dupes, an alternative to something equally as beautiful, but an alternative that you might want to consider, whether it's moving your head away from Seoul, maybe going to Taipei. It's fantastic, by the way. Sydney to Perth, or even Santorini to Paros in Greece. All equally brilliant places to go. But maybe it's just thinking about your budget and an alternative, and so these travel dupes are really, really helping. In addition to that, and I think this is an important point to land, TikTok can help drive a local economy. By doing this, the creators are allowing us to boost economies locally, but also really supporting young and small businesses within these regions. Number 2, and this is great. 1 in 4, 25% of TikTok users say that they travel to a destination because they're inspired by an event, an excursion, or an activity that they want to participate in. Good example of this could be that they're really inspired by a movie set. They might be inspired by some sport. They could be inspired by a TV show that they're really passionate about. Or, if you're into Taylor Swift, you're probably passionate about following Taylor Swift around the world.
Taylor Swift invited me to her show in Argentina. No, she didn't, but I must go anyway.
This is why I want to be rich. Not to travel the world, but to travel the world to see Taylor Swift.
If you'd seen the number of flights that were flying into Japan only just a month ago, just before the Super Bowl, you'd understand what we're talking about. But it's wonderful, and what's happening is these artists are also connecting with the audience because they're watching TikTok. The best example of that was a gentleman that surprised his young daughter for her birthday. She thought they were going on a business trip, but he surprised her that they were heading to Las Vegas to watch Adele. That evening, Adele was on stage. She'd seen the TikTok and sang happy birthday to this young woman. How wonderful. Total connection and relationship that she has with the brand as TikTok, as a platform, and connecting it back to someone's travel, adventure, and their birthday. Number 3, this is about food. I think we're all passionate about food and drink. And actually, eating and drinking locally not only inspires travel, but it's the second most important thing behind sightseeing when people are thinking about their travel journeys. It's what they like to do. It's a voyage of discovery. It's not just about the restaurants and the hotels, but it's also about the marketplaces, the smells. And so it is really building a bridge of the cultural differences between one country and another through the culinary delights that we're anticipating and can't wait to taste when we're traveling abroad. So get involved in this community as much as you travel. Number 4, it's all about the adventurous ones in us. Those that like to jump out of aeroplanes, go for your life. Or those that like to dive with your paddies and go to the deepest parts of the oceans possible. In fact, 83% of our users say that they watch something on TikTok and it makes them take action. It's spontaneous. It's inspired them to do something different. They follow through and book something based on some adventures that they've seen. Places on Earth that they've maybe not had thought about before. Doing adventures and doing something completely different, which really inspires them to take them out of their comfort zone and experience new things. Can you not be inspired by that? Number 5, the final one, turning every trip into an elevated experience. It doesn't just have to be about travelers that are thinking about their budgets. It's also inspiring people and curating content of vast riches and richness. In fact, well over 2/3 of our audience on TikTok are more likely than non-TikTok users to plan an international travel for themselves and treat themselves. So more than non-TikTok users treating themselves. And so it's not just about the flights, it's not just about first class, it's the shopping experiences at the airport. It's the wonderful resorts that you can stay in right across the world. And so there's an avid following of people that are experiencing these wonderful delights and gives people an aspiration to want to spend money and go to these wonderful destinations across the world. Now, I am going to touch on quickly that it's really easy for brands and creators to just get bedded and wedded into a single vertical. Travel is a very big passion point on TikTok. It's an area where people play a lot and spend a lot of their time. But as brands and creators are understanding, there are multiple communities which exist, these niches which are helping drive mass culture, which are helping drive the travel industry. If you're into fitness, you're probably thinking about travel. If you're into fashion, you're probably thinking about travel. Sport, autos, the list goes on. So embracing other communities in and around the travel vertical is equally important, and I want to emphasize that. It's not just about sticking to one vertical, it's multiple. And so brands have a massive opportunity to do just that. And they do. They have a voice. They have a relationship in these communities. They're harnessing the power of what TikTok can deliver, whether you're an airline, whether you're a booking site, or whether you are a travel accessory. I can't think of a better case study, and I'm going to share one with you this afternoon, which I think single-handedly is really superpowered the way that you think about TikTok. TUI embraced, I think, the difficult economic climate that we're seeing right across the world. They used creators through our creator marketplace, a place where we can introduce creators to brands. And they activated content that gave really sage and brilliant advice. Advice that was really humble, advice that said, well, look, you don't need to put down a 0% deposit. You don't need to go here if you've got kids. You can go here. And so giving really positive advice. And the results speak for themselves. Highly impactful, really driving brand recall, but also changing attitudes about TUI. And they really capitalized on this booking period to target the 6 million people at this point looking for a holiday.
TUI have flight and hotel deals across Italy that are incredible value and take all the fuss out of holiday planning with all flights, transfers and accommodation sorted, so you can spend more time drinking Aperol Spritz on the Italian Riviera.
TUI can also take you on new travel experiences this year and beyond, with destinations from Italy to St. Lucia. TUI offers easy-to-book holiday packages that can include flight, hotel, luggage and transfers to make your life simpler. I love that TUI offers flexible payment options, making it easier and more affordable to take that dream trip without breaking the bank.
Also, if I wanted to be flexible, I could just add TUI Flex to my holiday for just 5% of the total cost, which means I can get the free changes, which is perfect for me because my plans are constantly changing.
TUI has a free Kids Place Finder, which means that you can take your little ones away without spending a single penny.
I always go back to TUI when I'm thinking about going on holiday with my kids because I trust them. I know I'll get value for money and I'll also have peace of mind and an enjoyable holiday. That for me is what makes an all-inclusive holiday with TUI worth every penny.
If you don't know where to start, book a trip with TUI, who will look after everything for you from start to finish. They offer packages where all flights, transfers and luggage is included, and 24/7 support with their pre-travel and in-resort teams.
Whether it's a cruise, a hotel or a holiday package, where will TUI be taking you to this year?
Take this as your sign to book your next holiday now. You deserve it. Make sure to check out TUI's destination packages online at tui.co.uk.
Inspiration, education, making people take action. It's what TikTok does, and it does it really well. We've changed the cycle of how people purchase holidays. We call this our infinite loop. You come to TikTok to be inspired, but you can come in at any of these points during this infinite cycle. You do your research. Research is really, really important. You discover those deep-rooted videos that I discussed earlier. You don't only just find out the best airline to go with, but why the best airline to go with. And people sharing those experiences. You then obviously go to the reviews and recommendations. Is it any good? Is the food good? Did this wine really go? But then you're participating. You're making your own videos and you're contributing back to somebody else's inspiration through TikTok. This is the travel booking life cycle. We've seen it fundamentally change. You don't just come in at the top and then you book a holiday at the bottom. You can book at any time at whatever life stage that you're in and whatever period you're in your life. I'm going to hopefully leave you with another inspirational video. And I think nobody says this better than our actual creators themselves.
Do you ever have a crazy dream about a place, and no matter what you do, just can't seem to get that place out of your head? So you pursue it, you chase it, knowing very well that the journey will be long, the way will be steep. You might even have to blaze your own trail. And right when you feel some sort of confidence, you experience storms that bring you right back down to earth. But when those storms eventually part, and you begin to see that place you've dreamed of for so long, that moment, when you see it, when you feel it, there's simply nothing else like it.
Beautiful. I hope today I've inspired you. I hope today I've given you a really interesting insight into why TikTok is fundamental to the travel journey and connecting with those audiences in a very different way. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Stuart Flynn from TikTok.
Yeah.
One last question before I let you go.
Sure.
You told us your favorite TikTok channel, right?
Yes.
So what's your favorite one related to travel? Can you share a brand that's doing an excellent job on TikTok?
Yes. Maybe a brand, but I'm 50 next year, so I'm learning to fly. That's how inspired I am by travel. And so the pilots, I think, and the communities of the pilots are really inspiring right now. So EasyJet do a really good job. So I think EasyJet, from a brand point of view, are doing a fantastic job in building really strong narratives.
Very good CTA. So let's see, everyone that wasn't a TikTok owner yet on his phone, did we convert someone to download TikTok? Is
Just
there someone
one of you, please put your hand up.
Well, it's 2 or 3, it's 4, it's 20, it's 100, it's 200. Thank you so much, Stuart Flynn from TikTok. It was a pleasure. And we say back to Katie. Thank you.